Hi everyone! Time for your Week 10 wake-up call for Humanities 103. Here's your course schedule. You'll see that now we've moved into Module 4 and we're going to be talking about heroes and tricksters. I am really looking forward to this module. We have some great readings, some good stories, and some fun assignments. There really isn't anything due this week in terms of this particular module. Instead, you have that major assignment, your creation myth project, which is due Sunday, Halloween. Look at that. And I just want to bring to your attention that there will be no late submissions accepted unless you contact me ahead of time with a really convincing reason why you can't turn that in. Because this assignment has been on the books since the third week of the semester, and I know a lot of you have been really working on it industriously, and quite a few of you have already turned it in, so good for you. So anyway, just keep that in mind, put that on your schedule, make sure that gets in by the end of the day on Sunday. So just a little reminder how to turn that in. If you go to the assignments tab along the sidebar, click on that, then go down the list, click on the Creation Myth Project, you'll find that entire instruction sheet for this assignment. Even if you're finished, be sure you go back and read that thoroughly. Make sure you haven't left anything out, that you have followed the formatting, that everything is perfect. And when you're ready to turn it in, you click on that little red button, Start Assignment, which takes you to this dialog box. You can upload a file. Remember, this assignment has two parts. You've got the original creation myth and you've got the analysis. Both of these have to be in the same document. That's part of the instructions. Do not submit these as two separate documents. I also want to remind you to make sure you give your creation myth a really cool original title. Don't forget that. You'll notice you have to click on the box to verify that this assignment submission is your own original work. When all of that looks good, you just click Submit Assignment. Here is your work for the week. Now wait a minute, don't freak out. I know that looks like a lot of reading, and it actually isn't. Most of these are just one, maybe 2 pages. These are all different short articles that describe these different scholars and theorists who have really taken a close look at the hero in mythology. And I want to make sure I say right here that hero, although we typically think of that as masculine, in our case, it's not necessarily. We are talking about anybody, male, female, in between, who fulfills the qualifications of this heroic character. So you'll understand that as you go through these different readings. The other thing about these readings is that these are the basis of your analysis for your novel analysis project. So I know a couple of you have contacted me and you've said, well, I read the whole assignment for the novel analysis, but I'm not really sure, what you're talking about with that Lord Raglan or, the monomyth. Well, here you go. Here it is. So please make sure you carefully read each one of these articles. It's actually not imperative that you finish these by the end of this week, but just make sure that you read these, I would say, within the next 2 weeks. All right, one last thing. A couple of people have asked, what should I be looking for in terms of mythical elements when I'm reading this novel? So I thought I would I just pulled these out of my head, frankly, and list them for you to kind of give you an idea. As you're reading through this novel, these are the ideas of things that you should be looking for. So think about our definition, right? The definition of myth, an ancient story that describes the relationships among humans, the gods, and nature, and tries to answer those enduring existential questions about life and living. Who am I? Why am I here? What happens after I die? Yada, yada, yada. I know that a lot of you are reading books that are contemporary stories with very contemporary characters, so it may not feel like that's an ancient story. But most of those books are at least loosely based on ancient, maybe classic myths. All right, so you can think in those terms. So let's just think of an example. How about A Wrinkle in Time? I know a couple of you are reading that. So that doesn't feel like an ancient story, right? It's teenagers, scientists, okay. But it certainly qualifies for the second two. Describes the relationships among humans, so the relationships among the different family members. Maybe not gods so much, but nature. Tries to answer those enduring questions. So Meg, the main character, is really thinking about, thinking about life, thinking about her responsibilities to her little brother, to her father, those sorts of things. So, by all means, that book and every other book that you're reading absolutely somehow fits into this definition. So here are a couple other things. Think about the characters. Are they gods, goddesses, animals, or people? Do they have supernatural abilities? And we're not talking about just normal run-of-the-mill people. Is there any kind of magic? Spells, rituals, prophecy, fortune-telling, wizards or witches? And this is not an exclusive list by any means. There are loads of other things that could fit in here. Events or actions that defy physics as we know it, teleportation, time travel, defying gravity, talking trees or animals, telekinesis, that's being able to move things with your mind, clairvoyance, being able to read people's minds, know what's about to happen. I have to tell you, these are absolutely my favorite kind of books. Shape-shifting, transformation, so, of course, well, werewolves, vampires, but, there's loads of other ways that people or characters shapeshift. Alternate dimensions or worlds, are we talking about other planets, the underworld, heaven, completely unknown dimensions? Think about the archetypes. Now, in your readings for this week, you'll notice, first of all, you've got an overview of Carl Jung and his work, his theories. And part of his work was archetypes, and that would include the divine masculine and feminine, the trickster archetype, the hero, the shaman. So that might not make a lot of sense right now, but after you've done those readings, you absolutely will know what those mean. Is there evidence of the hero's journey? For a lot of you, your entire book is actually structured on the hero's journey. So once you read what that is, I think you'll begin to see that in a lot of the things that you're reading. The idea of the Messiah or the chosen one who is about to come and save the world, to usher in sometimes the apocalypse. So do we have a creation myth or apocalypse? Binary oppositions or conflicts. So remember, go back to that Levi Strauss and his structuralist theory and thinking about those binary oppositions that so many characters have to grapple with. All right, that's just a very short list, but I think that will at least get you started in thinking about what to look for in these books that you're reading. I have to say, I am so excited to read your analyses of these. This is going to be a fun assignment for me to grade. All right, well, that's it for this week. You'll find the link for the Zoom office hours in the announcement where I post this video. And if you have any questions at all about any of this week's assignments or anything else, either drop into office hours or drop me a question in the Ask the Instructor discussion post. All right, I hope you have a great week. Talk to you later.